Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for Victoria's 2022 Australian of the Year Awards. I'm Rochelle Hunt from ABC Radio and it is my privilege and my pleasure to be here with you this evening and to host this event. Apologies that we're a little late tonight, but you know what it's all like when we have a dodgy Zoom call. Now, our nominees are joining us from all around Victoria and doing so from the comfort, maybe of their own home or from their office. And we're all now experts, so to speak, in online and Zoom calls, video calls, so bandwidth and Wi-Fi. Hopefully, we'll get to meet all of our nominees this evening. This year, of all years, the Australian spirit has really come to the fore. It's provided an opportunity for Australians to gather and to reflect on a year that's been difficult, to say the least. It gives us a chance to actually pay our respects for the sacrifice that's been made by thousands of those that are working in healthcare, first responders and frontline workers. Those that put their safety second and put others first. It's our chance to celebrate also the collective effort that has been made by our local communities trying to help each other throughout this pandemic. Through natural disasters, coronavirus outbreaks, our nation's heroes have inspired with selfless acts. It's times like these when inspiration is actually needed the most, and our 16 nominees tonight have inspired us all in different ways. We're reminded that resilience, and that's a word that gets used a lot, but here it's true. And in Australia, it's kind of in our DNA. And the Australian of the Year Awards program is committed to showcasing extraordinary members from our community. The 2022 Australian of the Year nominees are people that inspire courage, sacrifice, and kindness. And we look forward to celebrating all 16 of those stories tonight. We'll hear a little later from the Governor of Victoria, Her Excellency, the Honourable Linda Dessau. We'll also hear from the Premier of Victoria, the Honourable Daniel Andrews. But I'd also like to welcome our sponsors, of course, our nominees, and all of our friends and family that are joining us online from possibly all around Australia. To everyone watching at home from around the country, hello and welcome from Victoria. This evening, we also want you to help us recognise what we're celebrating through social media. So you can do that, you can use the hashtag Oz of the Year. You can do it across Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So that's hashtag Oz of the Year. Now, if you're new to the Australian of the Year Awards, we'll be celebrating Australian Aussies across 4 categories. And they are the Australian Local Hero, the Young Australian of the Year, the Senior Australian of the Year, and the Australian of the Year. Importantly, the 16 nominees that you're about to meet, it was somebody else that nominated them, and sometimes anonymously, and they did so for their inspiration, contribution, and their excellence. They're people who constantly demonstrate courage, resilience, and selflessness. They're people who roll up their sleeves and do so for their community. People whose determination and sacrifice not only helps literally save lives, but enriches them as well. They're pioneers that have started a revolution. And they've done that by not sitting back and watching, but by acting. People who just kept going, encouraged people, and support people. Our nominations are open to the public and they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And you can nominate anyone that inspires you. This year, we received thousands of nominations. So it just goes to show you the enormous challenges that we've all faced this year. From those nominations, our Victorian panel then select 16 incredible people who will all be celebrating this evening. 1 recipient will be announced in each category, and then these 4 will then go on to meet with other state and territory recipients for the national awards on the eve of Australia Day. And that will be announced by the Prime Minister, and it'll be broadcast on ABC TV. so be sure to tune in then. Whatever the outcome this evening, our nominees richly deserve to be here. So we congratulate you, and we reach the stage of and it's the most important stage of the nation's most prestigious awards. I would now like to welcome the wonderful supporter of the Australian of the Year Awards, and she's supported it for many years now, Her Excellency, the Honourable Linda Dessau, the Governor of Victoria, and she recorded this message for us.
First, I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm standing as I send this message, and I want to pay my respects to their elders past and present, as well as to elders from other communities who are watching. As the Governor of Victoria, it is a great pleasure for me to be able to recognise and celebrate some outstanding Victorians as part of the 2022 Victorian Australian of the Year Awards. Amidst the challenging times that we've been enduring, an occasion that showcases some of our finest Australians brings us just the celebration that I think we need. We see a variety of individuals amongst our nominees, and we can marvel at the diverse contributions made by them. May I say to each one of you that you truly help to make our state and our nation stronger. I have the strong belief that governments, public office holders and institutions can only do so much. The ultimate health and the ultimate strength of our community will always rest on its people. And that's why these awards are so very important. First and foremost, they enable us to acknowledge your individual and your collective contributions to Victoria, and to thank you for all that you've done. But in addition, we know that in celebrating you and your contributions, others are certain to be inspired to follow the example you've set. And we can be reminded to be grateful for all the clever, resourceful, good and caring people who, like you, strive to make our community a much better place. Given recent logistical challenges, I think a special thank you is also due to everyone who has worked hard to ensure that these awards have been able to proceed successfully this year, and with a particular mention, of course, to the hard-working committee volunteers. Finally, to those who will go on to represent Victoria in Canberra in January next year, you will, of course, carry our very best wishes with you. But to all our nominees, I send the warmest congratulations. Whether or not you do go on to become the title holder in your category shortly, you can be very proud of this recognition. Victorians too are proud of you. We're grateful for all your work in maintaining, in the words of Victoria's state motto, our peace and prosperity. Thank you to you.
Words. Thank you, Governor. Our Premier, the Honourable Daniel Andrews, has also sent us a video message this evening. Let's hear from the Premier now.
On behalf of our government and every Victorian, I'd like to congratulate the nominees and winners of the 2022 Victorian Australian of the Year Awards. Every year, this ceremony recognises Victorians who've gone above and beyond the call of duty to help others. Whether it's taking care of the vulnerable or giving a voice to Victorians who deserve to be heard. You have all made a meaningful difference to the people and the world around you. And over the last 20 months, in the midst of a global pandemic, your work has never been more important. As families and communities face new and unprecedented challenges, you've continued to step up and give your fellow Victorians the support they need. We are all deeply grateful for the work that you do. You make our state better, fairer and stronger. Congratulations, and please enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Premier, for those inspiring words, and how nice is it to hear him say something other than the daily coronavirus updates. Okay, the time has arrived for the 2022 Australian of the Year First Award. This is Australia's local hero. The Local Hero Award recognises Australians making significant contributions in their local community. These are everyday people whose selflessness is humbling. Through their community activity, these people inspire others nationwide, and they really do this in the places where they live. So, the nominees for Victoria's 2022 Local Hero are
Cecilia Chua was delivering meals for her food business in May 2020 when she noticed some homeless people sitting at the Queen Victoria Market car park. She went home, began cooking and drove back to give some containers of fried rice to them. Since that day, Cecilia leaves her work every Tuesday afternoon to go home and cook meals before handing them out to the homeless at the Queen Victoria Market car park. With the help of some friends in the kitchen, her meals feed around 100 people every week. For more than 30 years, Grant Hansen has worked as a radio and television broadcaster, musician and band manager. A Tararung man, he was the first Aboriginal person to work on commercial radio in Victoria with the Marnbrook Footy Show, alongside Leila Garawiri. He's also pursued life through music as a leading musician with the band Blackfire, one of Australia's most successful Indigenous acts of the 1990s. By creating education and training pathways, Grant continues to improve the lives of Indigenous people through music and sport. As the Malakuta State Emergency Services Unit Controller, Leo Optenbrau's dedication and leadership were on full display during and after the 2019-20 bushfires. On New Year's Eve 2019, a huge out-of-control bushfire devastated the Malakuta township and region, bringing down 123 homes, burning 83% of the land, and destroying many businesses and livelihoods. Leo's preparedness, coordination, and decisive action helped ensure no lives were lost and injuries were minimal. He continues to ensure local collaborative solutions are at the heart of the Malakuta community's response and recovery. Guided by the Sikh philosophy of selfless service, or SEVA, Jasvinder Singh works through Sikh Volunteers Australia to provide food and support to disadvantaged groups. When COVID-19 struck Melbourne in March 2020, Jasvinder and his team of volunteers focused their efforts on helping people during lockdown restrictions. By the end of that year, Sikh Volunteers Australia had delivered more than 140,000 meals directly to people in need. Jasvinder galvanises and inspires individuals, communities and businesses to come together, volunteering their time, funds, food and acceptance to support anyone experiencing disadvantage and hardship.
Incredible. We are so lucky to have people like that in our communities, selfless and inspirational. So again, congratulations to our 4 nominees who are all with us online this evening: Cecilia Chua, Leo Optenbrau, Grant Hansen and Jasvinder Singh. Congratulations. Good on you. Well done, all of you. So it is now, without further ado, time for me to announce the 2022 Local Hero for Victoria. And the winner is, I always get so nervous doing this bit. You can do drum rolls at home. The 2022 Local Hero for Victoria is Leo Optenbrau. Leo, congratulations. It's so incredible, all of the years that you've volunteered, and they're so important in small communities, especially like Malakuta, which everybody knows the name of Malakuta now around the world, given the fires that you lived through last year. What does this award mean to you, but also to the community of Malakuta?
Well, first up, I'm really stunned. It's an honour and a privilege to have been nominated for this award in the first place, and then to actually achieve it and receive it when I'm in the company of such other amazing community workers. I'm a little bit stunned. So it means a lot to me. I've many years of work within the community, and it's a terrific community. It's full of very resilient people. And I'm sure it means a lot to Mallacoota, because anything that I've achieved in relation to the response to those bushfires and other things we've done in the community over the years have been fully supported and backed by other members of the community. I couldn't have achieved anything without their support and their collaboration and help. And so I accept this award for myself, but also for the rest of those people in Mallacoota who have put in huge hours, and they're sort of heroes to me as well. So I really appreciate this, and I thank you very much. And I'm a little bit at loss for words. I've prepared some speeches and things to say, but I'm a little bit speechless, to be honest.
No, you're certainly not speechless, Leo. That was beautifully said, and it's so true when you're a part of that community. So I really hope that this award that you're taking home tonight, that there's somewhere special that it can be put so that everyone in Mallacoota can celebrate what they've been through. So again, congratulations. It's so richly deserved. So thank you so much from all of Victoria for the work that you do. Now, it's time to move on to the next category. The next category is the Young Australian of the Year award. Now, this award recognises inspiring young Australians aged between 16 and 35. And already at that young age, they have accomplished incredible things in all walks of life. So the nominees for Victoria's 2022 Young Australian of the Year are...
Alex Decker first began preparing meals for his sister, who was working as a nurse during the pandemic. Shocked that she didn't have time to eat a proper meal, Alex was inspired to act. He began offering cooked meals to other healthcare workers before launching his social enterprise, Alex Makes Meals. He's now provided more than 250,000 meals to those who need them, including frontline workers, international students, disadvantaged youth, and people who are homeless. Alex epitomises strong leadership and entrepreneurial skills during difficult times. In 2015, Libby Fisher went on a family holiday that included a visit to the Australia Zoo. It was there she fell in love with koalas, but she soon learned they were a vulnerable species in New South Wales and Queensland. She quickly went about raising funds and awareness, establishing Libby's Koala and Wildlife Crusade. Libby has raised more than $65,000 in cash, plus tens of thousands worth of supplies, which she's donated to volunteer rescuers and carers around the country. She uses her passion for wildlife to engage her community and bring everyone together. A proud Yorta Yorta, Wiradjuri and Dja Wurrung man, Keaton Graham works tirelessly to elevate and mentor young Aboriginal people. He does this largely through his role as manager and deputy CEO of Strong Brother, Strong Sister. Set up in Geelong in 2017, Strong Brother, Strong Sister is a 100% Aboriginal owned and operated organisation that provides a culturally appropriate and safe place to help Aboriginal young people thrive. Possessing natural leadership skills, Keaton's passion for Aboriginal culture shines through in all the work he does. Dedicated, hardworking and fearless, Ahmed Hassan has a clear vision on how best to assist and advocate for disadvantaged young people from multicultural backgrounds. In 2014, at the age of 18, Ahmed co-founded Youth Activating Youth, an organisation that supports marginalised and disadvantaged young people by providing them the essential skills needed to build self-confidence and self-sufficiency. Born in the northern suburbs of Melbourne to parents from Somalia and Eritrea, Ahmed is driven by a desire to bridge cultural divides and achieve the best outcomes for young people from multicultural backgrounds across Victoria.
Well, we can all certainly agree that our future is in good hands when we have incredible, bright and inspired young people like we just heard from. So again, congratulations to our 4 amazing nominees, to Alex Decker, to Libby Fisher, to Keaton Graham and to Ahmed Hassan. Well done to all of you. Now let's find out the Young Australian or Victorian of the Year is. And the winner of the 2022 Young Australian of the Year for Victoria is Ahmed Hassan. Ahmed, congratulations. Such incredible work that you do, and you started at such a young age. And it's really easy for people to fall through the cracks and not feel like they're listened to. How important is this award for you now and the work that you do?
It's quite humbling, and I just want to thank the other nominees. We've got Libby, we've got Alex, we've got Keaton, who are all young people, who are all striving to help their communities, and starting from a young age, it takes a lot of passion, drive, and consistency. And I'm just taken back a bit, but again, I'm extremely humbled to be the winner tonight.
Well, congratulations. The work that you do is incredible, and so many people benefit from that as well. So thank you so much for the work that you do.
Absolutely. And I want to pay this tribute to the community that I work with and that I'm from, and the members in the community who've volunteered tirelessly, the young people who are coming up, the future generations. We just need to pave the way, give them the platform and the foundations to succeed. So that's my message, and we'll see a lot more young people coming through.
Ahmed, beautifully said. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and enjoy this award. You truly deserve it.
Thank
We'll
you.
put our hands together for Ahmed. Now let's move on to our third category for this evening. This is our Senior Australian of the Year. Now, this award celebrates the ongoing achievements of Australians aged 65 and over, and those who continue to challenge themselves and inspire others. So let's hear a little bit more about them. The nominees for Victoria's 2022 Senior of the Year are...
Sister Bridget Arthur is a tenacious fighter for the rights of some of our community's most vulnerable members. Part of the Brigidine Order of Nuns, in 2001 she was a founding member of the Brigidine Asylum Seekers Project. The organisation gives practical support to asylum seekers, including emergency funds, food and housing. Bridget is a former board member of the Asylum Seeker Resource Centre and a litigation guardian for young Indigenous people and young people seeking climate action. Her support for asylum seekers needing a representative in federal court matters has helped them obtain critical, urgent care in Australia. No one can question Gay Hamilton's unwavering enthusiasm for Melbourne's West. As Deputy Chancellor of Victoria University, she navigated the breadth and complexity of issues surrounding COVID-19 through 2020 and beyond. Meanwhile, as chair of the Western Bulldogs Community Foundation, she supported and guided the organisation to redirect all programs to digital creative platforms. This allowed it to maintain engagement with the community and those in need, even during lockdowns. With generosity, humility, and a team-oriented spirit, Gay is driven by social justice and the development of Melbourne's West. Mabel Hibbert has lived an extraordinary life. Her influence as a volunteer spans many decades, and she's become affectionately known to her local community as Marvellous Mabel. Mabel has knitted thousands of trauma teddies at her own expense to be sent to children experiencing challenging times. During Australia's involvement in the war in Afghanistan, she also sent knitted beanies and gloves to frontline soldiers. For more than 65 years, Mabel has been active in her church group, engaging in various community initiatives, like helping improve literacy among Indigenous students. Specialist physician Dr. Helen Kuzmin combines her love of people with medical brilliance. Born in Bulgaria in 1942, her family fled Stalin's regime and endured years of hardship before arriving in Australia in 1950. After studying medicine, Helen practiced for 8 years at the Fairfield Infectious Diseases Hospital before opening a GP clinic where she still practices. Helen's exceptional ability to diagnose complex conditions and the care she gives to patients has helped save countless lives and clear up misdiagnoses. Despite 50 years of experience, Helen continuously engages in research and professional development.
Well, it's really fair to say that without these people in our communities certainly wouldn't look the way they do today. Sacrifice, determination, and courage has shaped generations, and we will be able to live with that lasting legacy for years to come. So a huge congratulations again to all of the nominees for Victorian Senior of the Year, to Sister Bridget Arthur, to Gay Hamilton, to Mabel Hibbert, marvellous Mabel, best name ever, and to Dr. Helen Kuzmin. Again, congratulations and thank you so much for the work that you do. But now it's my honour to announce the 2022 Victorian Senior of the Year. The 2022 Senior Australian of the Year for Victoria is Gay Hamilton. Gay, congratulations. Such an honour to receive this award. The work that you do and the role that university plays, especially in the West, not only is this an honour for you, but it's an honour for the community and the university as well.
It most certainly is. And as with everyone else, no individual does this. It's always a team. And with all of the organisations that I've had the privilege to work with, there are just wonderful teams of people. And all of the team at Victoria University, the Western Bulldogs Community Foundation, Western Chances, all of those wonderful groups that have made the most of the last 2 years despite incredible difficulties, all because we all believe in the same thing, and that is that everyone, if given an opportunity, can really develop and grow and be the best that they can be. And that's what we want to do, to make sure that the health, the social and the economic well-being of all of the individuals, particularly in Melbourne's West, and beyond, are all as good as they can be, and that everyone has the opportunity to be their best. We have a terrific community. All of these people work together, and if I can help that grow and develop in any way, I'm just extraordinarily proud and incredibly honoured.
Well, the university and the community is very lucky to have you, Gay. Again, congratulations and thank you for the work that you've done. It's certainly been testing over the last couple of years and you've managed to do it. So you totally deserve today's award. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
It's time now for our final category of this evening, which is Victoria's 2022 Australian of the Year. Now, this award celebrates achievements and contributions of eminent Australians who are role models for us all. They're trailblazers. They don't wait to be asked. They see a need, they share their talent, and they inspire us all. So let's take a closer look at the nominees for Victoria's 2022 Australian of the Year.
As a teenager, Dylan Alcott hated being in a wheelchair because he didn't see anyone like him in mainstream media. Then sport changed everything. He's won 4 Paralympic gold medals, 23 quad wheelchair Grand Slam titles, a Newcombe medal, and a history-making Golden Slam. Yet Dylan's proudest moments have come from beyond the field of play. From the Dylan Alcott Foundation and Ability Fest, Australia's first accessible and fully inclusive music festival, to Get Skilled Access, a best-selling autobiography, and several high-profile media roles. Dylan is changing perceptions around disability. CSIRO Chief Scientist Professor Bronwyn Fox has pioneered world-first digital techniques to 3D print carbon fibre composites with the CSIRO and Swinburne University. She's created a growing, globally networked manufacturing ecosystem in advanced composites, which consists of extremely strong but lightweight fibre-reinforced plastics used in high-performance products like aircraft, satellites, and sporting equipment. She has established 2 public-private partnership platforms, a research precinct, Carbon Nexus, which has created 1,400 new jobs, and Industry 4.0 Composites Test Lab, which has generated 2 industry hubs in aerospace and hydrogen, creating $18 million worth of projects. Lawyer, writer, speaker, volunteer and former refugee, Nyadol Nguyen advocates for human rights, multiculturalism, refugees and those seeking asylum. Born in a refugee camp in Ethiopia after her family escaped the Sudanese civil war, Nyadol arrived in Melbourne in 2005, where she completed a law degree at the University of Melbourne. In 2018, after speaking publicly on race and human rights issues, she was abused and harassed online. Despite this, Nyadol has continued to be a powerful voice for human rights. She's chair of Harmony Alliance, where she works to empower migrant women. Kimberly O'Reilly almost lost her life due to a former partner's violence. Her abuser was supported by the local football club, allowing him to play while on bail and facing charges for the assault. The club's decision was a catalyst for Kim to act. She's now campaigning for a national policy to ban players from sport while facing charges of violence, and for convicted players to be banned from clubs. Kim's campaign, It's Never Okay, invites sporting clubs to take a stand against violence.
And all of our amazing nominees are with you this evening online. So again, congratulations to Dylan Alcott, to Professor Bronwyn Fox, to Nyadol Nguyen, and to Kimberly O'Reilly. Wherever you are at home, put your hands together, stand up, cheer, do whatever you may for these 4 incredible people. Congratulations. But the winner for this year's Victorian Australian, this year's 2022 Australian of the Year for Victoria is Dylan Alcott.
G'day everyone. How cool is that?
Dylan, what an achievement. I mean, you can just really add this to your accolades. What a big week it's been for you as well. But you inspire people of all ages, all backgrounds, all abilities around the globe. Growing up, did you ever for a moment dream that you would have this kind of an influence on people?
Can I start by saying I feel ridiculous that I just got nominated? Everybody nominated tonight, congratulations. I thought I was making up the numbers. I really did. I thought I had no chance. So to everybody nominated, especially these 3 awesome women that was in this category, congratulations on what's been going on in your own lives. And yeah, I mean, I'm lost for words. That's crazy that I've got that. I'm just a tennis player who is always himself, and the reason I get out of bed is not to win tennis tournaments. It's not to win gold medals and grand slams. It's to change perceptions so people like me, people with disabilities, can get out and live the lives they deserve to live. And that's not just through playing sport. That's in employment, in education, in their personal lives, in dating, in travel, in going to restaurants, in doing everything. And I just bloody love being disabled. I love it so much. And I know not everybody feels the same way that I do, because they haven't had the opportunities that I've had. I'm the luckiest guy in the world, bar none. And I'll never stop to make sure that people with disabilities get the same opportunities that I've had. But this is ridiculous. I can't believe it. Thank you. It's crazy.
Well, we are so lucky to have you. And I think you sort of really nailed it there where you say you just yourself. And that's what shines through. And that's what breaks through, I think, and makes people stop and pay attention. But it's everything from your festivals, I mean, listening to you on radio, mentorship, whatever it may be. I mean, what's next for you, Dylan? Have you thought about it? You just made your announcement that you're going to retire. I'm not sure what the world's going to do without you playing tennis just quietly. We'll have a little time to grieve over that. But what's next for you?
Well, yeah, I'm a almost washed up athlete now. So, I do a lot of different things. And one thing I'm really proud of, I've got a consulting company called GSA where we educate people about to better understand people with disabilities. We've got 45 consultants, and every single one of them has a disability. There are 4.5 million people in this country with some form of physical and non-physical disability, and only half of them can find a job. Unemployment rate is double, and that's what I want to do. And I feel like I've done everything in sport. I love broadcasting so much, and one thing I really struggled with when I was growing up is whenever I turned on the TV or the radio or the newspaper, I never saw anybody like me. And when I did, it was a road safety ad where someone drink drives, has a car accident. What's the next scene? Someone like me in tears because their life's over. And I was like, that's not my life, right? We need more representation in the mainstream across everything, not just sport, in the media, in our classrooms, in our boardrooms, in our parliaments, absolutely everywhere. And I'm just really, if I can use my platform, even in a very, 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 very small way to change someone's life, well, that's what I meant to do. And look, there are so many people with disability who came before me who deserve to be here. Stella Young, Kurt Fernley, Louise, so many people that did awesome work in the community and are still doing awesome work in the community. And I bloody love Melbourne as well. I love Victoria. I love where I'm from. I'm such a proud Victorian. So to get this nod is super special to me. And I hope I make everybody proud and do everybody well when we all get to go to Canberra. I think I'm making up the numbers again. I think there's no chance I'm going that next. No way. But I really cherish this, and I don't very often lost for words, am I? I've got no idea what to say. It's really means a lot. It's a huge honour, and I'm looking forward to having a cheeky champagne after this to celebrate, which is pretty cool.
Well, you so deserve it. And you're certainly not making up the numbers, Dylan. You're really not. You inspire so many people, and you are making change, and you're inspiring young and old. And as you said, it's not only breaking down those stereotypes, but it's ensuring that we get real change in everything, whether it be from the festivals that you're putting on or to the work opportunities that are being created. So, mate, enjoy that cheeky champagne. You so deserve it. It's incredible that we actually can call you Victorian, so we're very proud to have you, and find somewhere fancy to put this trophy. Sit it up somewhere so you can be proud of it.
I definitely will be right. It'll be next to the medals and stuff. Don't worry about that. This one is very, very high up for me. And as I said to everybody nominated tonight, congratulations. I really enjoyed watching along. When it got delayed, I thought we got cancelled. I was like, oh no, another Melbourne event. That's off, Victoria. But I was so happy that we're here. And as I said, when we can all catch up in person, let's do it, because I'm a tactile person. I love seeing everybody. So my love to everyone on what's been an awesome night, and I know a tough 18 months, and we're on the other side of it. So look forward to seeing everybody soon. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Dylan. Enjoy this evening. And again, a huge congratulations to everybody that was nominated this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, again, I was just inspired by everyone this evening. Put your hands together. Give them a huge clap wherever you're watching this, even if you're on your own from your lounge rooms, and show the appreciation for all of our recipients tonight. To all 16 nominees here today, congratulations. Somebody in your community thought you were amazing, and you are. And to our 4 recipients, well done. Of course, none of this would be possible without our national partners, so I would like to acknowledge them, those that make putting this award together possible, and we couldn't do any of it without your support. Our National Diversity and Inclusion partner, Chevron. They help us inspire and foster unity and connect people of all ages and of all backgrounds. The Australian of the Year partner is Australia Post, and aren't they busy at the moment? And they support our national recipient in the delivery of their message nationwide. The Department of Health is our category partner for Senior Australian of the Year award. The Department of Education, Skills and Employment is our Young Australian of the Year category partner. And the Department of Home Affairs is the Local Hero Award category partner. Here's a brief message from some of them.
Ingenuity,
creativity,
and innovation,
passion,
purpose, and the pursuit of excellence.
Mateship,
inclusion,
and the idea of a fair go.
At Chevron, we call it human energy.
That's why we support the Australian of the Year Awards.
as the National Diversity and Inclusion Partner,
celebrating the achievement
of outstanding Aussies
from every corner of our great country
and from every walk of life.
Because we're all part of the story.
For over 200 years, Australia Post has been at the heart of Australian communities, connecting them to each other and the world. We're thrilled to recognise the incredible Australian of the Year award recipients who make such a profound contribution to their communities and to our nation. We're proud to support the Australian of the Year award and join you in celebrating these inspiring Australians.
This award is given to people from all walks of life who have dedicated their lives to making a difference, be it through education, science, advocacy, sport, and many other fields of endeavour for their fellow Australians and the community. It celebrates commitment, it celebrates facing adversity and staying the course. It celebrates lifelong learning and giving. It speaks to the wealth of experience and wisdom senior Australians bring to our nation, recognising the drive and commitment of those who continue to achieve and contribute, inspiring all generations. I congratulate all nominees and thank them for their contribution to furthering our nation.
As the Federal Education and Youth Minister, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate and recognise all of the nominees for the Young Australian of the Year Award for this year. Each of you has been recognised by your state and territory government for making an absolutely outstanding contribution to your state or territory, and I want to thank you for that. You are a great ambassador and great role model for so many others, and I wish you well in the overall finals, which of course will be announced on Australia Day in the not too distant future. All the very best.
Australia's Local Hero Award recognises everyday Australians who have seen an opportunity to make their community a better place. Through their extraordinary commitment and selfless efforts, these local heroes have made a real and enduring difference. Congratulations to all of the finalists in the Australia Local Hero Awards. You are an inspiration to all of us.
And I'd also like to thank our broadcast partner, the ABC, who support us year-round and will screen the national announcement live on the ABC as well as iView on January the 25th, which begins a day of programming to reflect, respect and celebrate on Australia Day. Our media partner, Australian Community Media, supports our call for nominations through their unique collection of community-based local newspapers and websites that span the nation. They help inspire millions of Australians by telling stories of extraordinary state and territory recipients. Our alumni partner is the International Day of People with a Disability. This day, on December the 3rd, each day, challenges the way we think about disability to help us grow as a more inclusive Australia. We thank our national accommodation partner, Crown Plaza, and we appreciate your warm hospitality for our travelling nominees and for our recipients, especially each January. Thanks to our cultural partner as well, the Australian National University, who through its school and arts and music program actually designed the trophies that people will receive tonight. They also composed the music at our events. Our thanks to our exhibition partner, to the National Museum of Australia, who deliver the Australian of the Year exhibition in Canberra and around the country throughout the year. And last, but certainly not least, we appreciate the continued support of our legal partner, Minter Ellison. Please join me in thanking our national partners for their vital ongoing support. Well, we got there, but what a night and what an absolute honour it was to share this experience, not only with you, but with your friends and families as well. Again, congratulations to all of those recipients. I hope, like Dylan, you can go off and have a cheeky champagne after this. And on behalf of all of us, I wish our recipients and our nominees every success in their future endeavours. To our recipients, we wish you all the best on January the 25th. So that brings us to the end of this evening's proceedings. I don't know about you, but I will go on to think about people that inspire me in my community, in our networks, might even be in your own family. You can nominate someone, and you can nominate them now for 2023, I know, already, but you can nominate someone for those awards at australianoftheyear.org.au. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to spend tonight with you. Have a great evening. Take care.